I'm with Adam Twidell, who has a great deal of experience both as a chief executive of PrivateFly, a charter broker, and prior to that, a great career in the RAF. So, hello, Adam. How are you doing?
Hi, Liz. Good to join you from home.
Thank you. Yes, we're all getting to see inside each other's houses a little bit, and you might hear my cats go off in the background. It's such is the nature of home Zoom calls. But I was interested to hear, we were just talking before we hit record. Adam, can you give me a snapshot of what's happening in the charter industry at the moment?
Well, I think it's a rapidly changing situation, certainly by the week and the day, and at times by the hour, as more restrictions are being put into place. What we saw in March was, at the very beginning, owners starting to fly less, then the fractional providers reducing what they were doing, and jet card and memberships. And in a way, charter was protected. We were able to take passengers and fly them to where they needed to be, and that was repatriations of families, a lot of medical flights, moving chief execs around, business leaders, getting them to where they needed to be. And in a way, that's what charter has always done. It's always been there when there's been travel disruption. And it's been an opportunity to introduce many first-time customers into private aviation and showcase what we can do, be it through air traffic or pilot strikes, airports closing for adverse weather. The private aviation industry, and in particular charter, has always been a fantastic, shown a fantastic resilience and been able to continue to move people. So that's what happened last month. And so there was a considerable upside for many of the charter operators and the charter brokers in the industry, especially in the long haul sector, as customers were wanting to avoid complicated long haul flights by airlines. But now as we turn into April, I think we're seeing the harsh reality in the charter market. The drop in the levels of flights is dramatic. People have got to where they need to be now for the next few weeks or months, and there's going to be far fewer requests for flights. Operators are also seeing reduced crewing as crew members have had to move into isolation. And indeed, some companies are having problems or challenges and decisions to be made about where they do fly to in terms of protecting their crews. So at the time when demand has dropped, supply is also dropping. And we've seen airport closures as well. Today, the Las Vegas Tower closed, which is quite an incredible situation that an airport like McLaren is closing because of air traffic control shortages. We saw London City Airport on this side of the Atlantic close in Northolt. So we're beginning to see the net slowly close on where private aviation can fly.
And I think as we go into April, we're in for a painful few weeks all over the world on every level. That there is no doubt about that. The situation that you're describing is very tough. There's and as at the moment, there isn't anything with COVID. There isn't really anything you can say, well, it's going to end at this point, and there isn't a definite date, which I think is one of the big challenges about this period. This is where I'd love to draw on your experience of leadership and your military experience. I read something you'd posted on Facebook a few days ago about being able to mobilize your troops, your team very quickly. What kind of things are you doing now to keep your spirits up and to keep everybody around you up as far as you can? You know, where would your experience lead us to there?
Well, I think anybody who's served in the military would come away with a couple of things immediately of the benefits of being in the military. One is communication. Communication has never been more vital than now. And the communication we need is like this. It needs to be video. It needs to be face-to-face. And I know, Liz, that you have always been an advocate of great film and videos. And, this is the moment that we turn our cameras on and we speak to each other, because we're missing that human element. So excellent, clear, concise communication. We're in a fortunate position at PrivateFly's that we were a tech company from the beginning. So we were set up with communication in mind to ease the flow of communication. So we already used instant messaging in the team and many different ways to keep people off email. So the team were young and already engaged in different communications, but for more legacy companies, they're having to catch up quickly. And thank goodness for Zoom and Skype and all of these other great platforms that are now saving everybody. And so when we come out of this, I would say that our communication skills are going to be even better than they were before. And the other thing from the military, of course, is morale of the troops and the teams that we have, and that's vital. We've got to keep everybody's chins up. There's suffering on many levels, and it's going to get worse. We've got partners who are losing income. We've got kids off school. So there's an incredible amount of worry without the stress, of course, of family members getting the disease. And of course, in our industry, we're going to have losses. And that's probably a similar sort of way to what people in the military are used to in operations, very, very sadly. But we've got to keep morale up. We've got to get through this together. And so there's many things you can do with the team. One is vital to have some sort of structure in the day. And at PrivateFly, we're having a regular morning briefing where our safety officer, Gareth Horrocks, gives everybody a brief on where we can fly and where the restrictions are, border controls. And we share success stories that people have had and lessons. And we have that similar presentation at the end of the day. So we have a start and an end. And throughout the day, then all of the teams are interacting and having their sub-meetings. So that's vital. And then, of course, at PrivateFly, we've always had a great team spirit, and I'm sure many other companies are the same. And that has to continue. So you can't go to the pub, but on Fridays we have that Friday beer on Houseparty, which is another great app that people should be getting into now. And it's a different sort of platform than the work environment. So it's important to jump across platforms and use something else to give that feeling that, okay, we're not at work now, but we're in a different environment, but we're with our work colleagues. And let's switch those cameras on. Let's see each other. We've been having some fun quizzes and some, simple things like joke competitions and things. So, the team morale has got to be there. It can't be false. It can't be artificial. And this is when real characters in the team come out. And I think that was always the same in the military. The military is full of fantastic characters, and never more so is this important than in times of conflict or a crisis, or when the stress is on. That person in the team who can just produce some bit of humor and make everybody completely laugh and smile and let the pressure ease off. So let the characters come forward.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yes, I know the Wednesday afternoon barbecue has always been a big feature of your office, and that's good to hear. So to sum up, you're saying make sure that there's regular communication throughout the day, and also it's helpful to switch platforms. So if you're Zooming in the day, Houseparty in the evening or in the afternoon, just to have a delineation between this is work and this is a little bit of social interaction.
I think so. Yeah.
That sounds brilliant. Adam, I think that's it for today. I'd love to circle back and catch up with you in a few days' time as the story unfolds, if you'd be happy.
Let's keep the communication flowing, Liz.
Thank you.